Hello, Brother Monroe here. Welcome back to Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts, or rather my web browser, because I kind of need to use the blog post that went up to talk about it, because it has screenshots, and I'll jump into the campaign mode in a minute. So, core patch 1, which is actually core patch 1, 2, and 3 altogether, pretty much. We have the very first version of the campaign, which is really exciting. Now, this is all stuff that comes in that we knew before, so I'm not going to spend too long on it. We only have Britain and Germany. There's no diplomacy. It's all disabled. You start in 1890. You basically only have the beginning of the game. The economy is in there, but you're at war, so not all the financial stuff's working yet. Technology is in there. We can kind of see how it works, and there's a screenshot showing it, which is really exciting. And the map is limited. The ships don't move around on it and things like that. But I think in general we can get an idea of what the game is actually going to be like, which is really exciting. So, new stuff. You only have the choice between Germany and Britain, as I said. Starting year is 1890. You have to unlock additional years by playing through the campaign. Difficulty, I checked this normal or hard. An opponent can be historical or it can be random. That's between the 3 new AI behaviours. Apologies if you can hear Millie fussing around in her crate next to me. You can also change here whether the AI produces all the ships for you or you build your own. Bearing in mind you start in 1890, it's not too much of an issue to have an auto-generated fleet. Campaign map. Let's make this nice and big. So, by the looks of it, I like the look of this map. I will say that. I'm still not a fan of this brown tan-esque design, but the map I think looks really nice. I'm assuming these are your shipyards or ports. Looks like there's some sort of mission here that we've located, because this must be from Germany's point of view. You could have seen some greyed out stuff. So the British are coming in with the Redoubtable. And it's interesting that we can see the names of the displacements. I'm wondering if there's a way to find out what kind of ships these are in advance. But it also means that the AI is coming in with a pre-existing ship. Like, this will be something that the AI has already built. So that's nice. And these are our available ships to defend, which is pretty cool. Yeah, I like the look of it. I like how that looks. Okay. So you have the various options. You can see them here actually. Fight, delay, withdraw, or close. Withdraw is not an option. In some battles are too important. And then we have another screen here. Now this is your finance tab. I'm assuming world is the map. Ship design takes you to the shipyard, basically. So we have the German Empire. We have our monthly balance. Now, this is really interesting. So, this first look we've kind of had at any of the costings, which is really important. Crew pool. Again, very interesting that's a feature. So, have government types being modelled, which again is interesting. Unrest, naval prestige, number of provinces. All this stuff is really interesting in terms of what the campaign could become. It's really interesting that this is already in something to think about. So, naval fleet, I'm assuming we will be able to look this up for enemy nations. So we have 8 battleships, 13 heavy cruisers, 16 light cruisers, and 11 torpedo boats. And we have building none, and we are repairing none. We have no submarines. Our technology is okay, and our shipyard size, which is really interesting, limits us to 8,500 tons. Again, really interesting. Annual economic growth is 0. That's not the best. Annual revenue is 3 billion, and 22 million gets assigned to the naval budget every year, which is interesting as well. And then we have our expenses, crew training, tech, budget, and transport capacity. What's interesting about these two numbers is they only add up to 75%. So I'm presuming the remaining 25% is going into our naval funds so we can build stuff. So at the moment, yeah, of our, what is it, 22 million that we're getting in, we're spending, oh, this must be monthly. So this is our monthly balance, 9.6. We're spending 5.5 on technology, we're spending 1.4 on crew, and then the rest is going into our naval funds. So we've got 40 million to spend right now if we wanted to build a ship or a new class of ships. Oh, and as well here, oh, maybe that's not right. Maybe the remainder is, well, that's not quite the remainder. I don't think. That's more. Okay, so I'm not entirely sure how that all adds up, because you also have fleet maintenance of 3.5 million, which is interesting. Maybe we're running at a deficit. I don't know. And then this is the transport capacity, so if we increase this, it increases our economic growth, they said. So they explain that down here. So crew training, how much you spend on crew trained. Crew in the pool and ships can reach the maximum level of trained with training. So you can produce ships at trained only, and then in battle they can get higher up. So that is interesting, because I kind of assumed that there might be something like that going on, but it's really interesting that that's actually in the game. Transport capacity, your nation's economy and fleet needs. This is what I was talking about. So if you go higher than 100%, then you get bonus GDP. Presumably, if you go below 100%, you get a hit to your GDP. And this includes if some so-and-so comes along and sinks transports. That will put you below 100%. And it also says, during the war... No, I'm misreading that. I thought that affected your naval prestige as well. It might, actually, because obviously you're losing ships. Tech budget. More money into technology means you research them faster, but you can't build ships as quickly. And we have a research screen here, which I'll talk about in a second. Shipyard size. So you can choose to increase your shipyard size. Obviously, you need big enough shipyards to build the ships you want. And here we have the tech screen, which is worth talking about. So it looks like we get priorities. So we can say, you know, as the again, I think this is the Germans' point of view. They've said we want special machinery looked at, and we can see that they've discovered balanced, semi-balanced, and unbalanced. I'm assuming that's rudders, and they're researching something, but they don't know what it is. And this is talking about how the tech system is not a traditional tree. You can't just rush something that you in particular want. You can assign priorities and things like that, but you know you're researching everything all at once. It's not a case of, oh, I'm just going to put all my tech points or whatever into guns. It's just, nope. Your teams sit there going along in all teams all the time, and you could affect the rate of all of it by increasing your funding, and you can assign your priority. So you could say gun layout. That is super important to me. I will assign a priority. Or perhaps it's range fighters or whatever. That's cool. I like that. I like that it's not just that means that there won't be a, you know, best route through the tech tree kind of thing. And then we have here the ship design screen. So this shows you the designs that we start with. These might be AI ones. It's nice you get a little preview of it. I'm assuming that's a dynamic preview, but might not be. It gives you some of their key stats and things. Tells you how much they cost per month, I'm assuming. How big they are, and speed, and a few other things. Okay, so you can build a ship, or do a new design. You can remove ships, presumably, or you can just view them. I assume what that does is it just takes you to the designer, or possibly an empty custom battle with no enemies, just so you can have a look at your ship, which is kind of cool. And then you have the fleet, which shows you all of your ships, which is kind of cool. So here we have our battleships. Some of them are in being, and some of them are on sea control. So in being, I'm assuming means, in fact, they talk about it down here. Well, they don't really talk about it too much. What they do say is sea control, maintenance cost increase, but they become more active, participating in missions far away from their base. So basically, in being means, you know, you're sitting around in port, doing training, shakedown cruises, stuff like that. Sea control means you're actually going out on the high seas looking for the enemy and trying to sink them. And you can see here, these are both Pommern class, so they're the same ship, but that maintenance cost is dramatically increased. Status, it's either normal or in battle. So we did see earlier this popped up. So presuming if this pops up, then they then are no longer available. They're in battle. In fact, I think those are the actual ships. Nice now, Friedrich, Karl, and Rhineland. Yes. So this is the exact same moment in the campaign. You see all of these, which is really interesting. Crew action. I think what that is for is to replenish crew. So they've all got 659 crew, which is presumably the correct one. But that probably brings up the little slider that you have. You know, it'll tell you presumably, oh yeah, you're under strength over strength, or what. It doesn't tell you here how well trained the crews are. It just gives you the numbers. And then the area, so Baltic Sea or North Sea, which is interesting. You could assign this to be in being in the Baltic Sea. So I assume that's set on that then determines which port they end up in. So you've got two here, different ports, both in the North Sea, so that's interesting. Tells you the year they were built. Very nice, and again the speed of weapons, which is pretty cool. And you from here you could scrap them. So I'm assuming on this screen, if you delete, it deletes a design. And then this is how you actually scrap a ship if you need to. Apologies for the bings in the background. I must have forgotten to close Discord. Go away. Next up is basically the rest. We have new hulls. I will do a video on each of the new hulls. We've got a few of them. It also says here many new ship parts become available. That's quite cool. The new AI personalities. So we have cautious, balanced, and aggressive. We have after battle statistics. I really want to see that. No screenshot, sadly. New steering gear component. More technologies, which again, very cool. Improved weight offsets and stuff. So you could do crossfire, deck guns that are offset and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. Rebalance the game weights. I think that probably means making engines lighter. Possibly armor a bit heavier, but I'll just have to get into the game to see that. Ship rotation mechanics have been changed. So this, I think, is to primarily avoid the example of a heavily damaged AI ship magically being able to avoid torpedoes. Smoke interference is more significant. Okay. Overpen mechanics adjusted. Okay. Rescaled some of the guns. Nice. Some improvement to how the battleships and battlecruisers are deployed. Improvement to this one should stop the issue where you had a formation and one of the ships was just sitting around at the back not doing anything. So you split them up. Fixed. Very good. Added in battle statistics damage, details for ramming. Cool. And increased Naval Academy funds by about 15%. Good. So that compensates a bit for crew. So Naval Academy will be a little bit easier now. By the way, all previous Naval Academy designs no longer work. You have to rebuild them. But your progress has not been wiped. I have checked that. AI, significant improvement. Well, I'll wait till I see it. Optimize auto design, good. And division logic improved, good. And here we have another lovely, lovely screenshot. So this is the battle statistics screen. Oh, okay. So over here we have the Rhineland selected. Presumably you can change what is selected. Okay. Damage dealt, damage received, flooding received. There's quite a lot of stuff. Main gun accuracy, that's a pretty cool stat to have. Torpedo accuracy, ammunition remaining, presumably. Main gun status, so obviously the Friedrich Karl here lost the turret. How many torpedoes they have remaining? Again, very interesting. So if this is a persistent stat, then potentially, you know, you could have ships going out and then you're going to have to set them back to port. They're going to be in trouble. And experience. And it looks like most of them have lost experience, which is not the best. Okay. Cool. Shush, Billy. Then we have bug fixes, graphics options, but I'm not going to go into all those. Billy, that's enough. So let's have a quick look at the campaign, just very, very quickly. I'm not going to change any of this. Millie, shush. Honestly, you pick your times. No, Millie. I'm just curious what we have. Okay, so lots of interesting things here. We obviously start at war with Great Britain. There's nothing we can do about that. Oh, you get things down here telling you what's going on. Okay, so we know that the British have just finished 2 cruisers, the Duke of Edinburgh and the Barossa. Can I see anything about them? Next turn, presumably that's a month. Finance, yeah, so I could now build a bigger shipyard if I wanted. It tells me, oh, okay, that's a lot more granular than I thought. Cool. I could change this. Does it show me? Okay, so that's maybe not simulated yet, so you probably just want to leave that at whatever. Crew training. Ah, yeah, so this is affecting my monthly balance quite a lot. So I could max out both of them, but then I'm getting a tiny, tiny trickle of money. Why is my naval prestige going down? Don't know, actually. I've got my research. Let's have a look at this. Yeah, so it tells me what I'm researching here, but I don't know what I'm researching here. Presumably induced boilers. Interesting. Oh, very interesting. Yeah, I love this tech system. This is going to take a while to figure out. So it looks like as you go, you do find out what's happening. And this kind of tech is not something we normally see. This is an actual buff to your stuff. Like, this is better quality armor. That's really interesting. So with the one that we don't know, yeah, we don't know what it'll give us. Cool. So gun layout. Ah, okay. Interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, we've got Mark. So currently we're researching Mark II 9-inch guns, not Mark I 13s. Okay, interesting. Shells, explosives, and these will presumably. Ooh, submarines. Wow, and tactics. Very interesting. I know it says to do, so this doesn't do anything at the moment, but that is cool. That is very, very cool. All right. Ship designs. So if I hit view, what does it do? Yeah, it shows me it in the dockyard. So here we have one of our pre-built designs. Okay, cool. I can copy it, So I can make an improved version or something. That's cool. New design. What happens if I hit build ship? Oh, it just gives me build a battleship. Okay, does the cost per month include building and maintenance? What happens if I could just hit that? Build me a battleship. What happens? Oh, okay, it pops up here and then tells me in building and 13 months. Cool, and I can tell it which port I want it to build, so build it in Danzig. Okay, very cool, and that's just... That is a different amount to... I think what it's doing is it's taking the build cost... Oops, not what I meant to do. Yeah, what it's doing is it's taking the build cost and dividing it by the build time. That's perfectly sensible. Okay. All right. Now I'm assuming, because they did say they do want to show ships moving around, but yeah. So I have some ships here. I could presumably move them about if I wanted to, but I think all that's done from the fleet screen. So really, you're just waiting to see what the British get up to. Can I see? Can I see what they have in there? Yeah, I can. Okay. Very interesting. Got anything up in Scarpa Flow? They do. How far out? How far zoomed out does this go? Oh, reasonably, actually. We can go all the way down to the North Atlantic. Interesting. Very interesting. I wish we could see their designs. That would be really cool. Yeah. Looking really promising. Anyway, I will be playing this live on Twitch pretty much as soon as I can. I will try and get some videos out. I'm going to do a campaign as the UK, probably, and we'll see how it goes. We'll see what comes up. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this little preview. Loads of videos to come out, so keep an eye out for those. One on each of the new hulls, and of course, some on the new campaign. Bye for now.